And we're back. Today's date, February 3rd, 2025, documenting 47. And wow, flooding the zone. So, back when I began this endeavor, I remember the first term and I remember how chaotic it was. And I recall that, this was kind of done intentionally. So, all of these news items that have come out in the last week, and where do I begin? I mean, I could do a podcast a day on all the stuff that's happening here. It's all done with intent. Flooding the zone. He's purposely flooding the zone. And in many cases, as in today we saw, he actually I, I don't even well, I do believe that it's all done with intent. Now, I don't know if watching his brain work is a good thing for our democracy because he puts out these statements on tariffs and then it's like we're seeing the negotiations go on in real time via social media. He creates a lot of chaos, as we saw today in the market, down 600 points when he announced the tariffs over the weekend on Canada and Mexico and China. And then by the end of the day, there's a deal worked out with these countries, and or two of them anyway, Mexico and Canada. And then he's claiming a victory lap, all done intentionally, flooding the zone and then creating mass chaos and then creating victory, all done intentionally. And there's little minions, they all eat it up. Democrats have no response to this. They're lost. Chuck Schumer, I mean, if that's going to be your opposition, Chuck Schumer, then Democrats better get a clue here. All right. They're not, the Democrats are so, I got to do a podcast on the Democrats. I have no advice for the Democrats, but other than to just, I don't know, get somebody who can coherently come up with a strategy to effectively deal with this. Chuck Schumer going out there with his, press conference on Saturday, like it's business as usual, because he does that every Saturday. I don't know if anybody knows that, but Chuck Schumer, in good times and in bad, he has a Saturday afternoon press conference because it's a low news day or slow news day, I should say. But you can't have him. He's not the face of the opposition here, folks. You might as well just have Biden go out there again and do it. Okay. So flooding the zone and overwhelming the system. Now, is it sustainable? The people, the American people might, or the middle of the road people, independents might get a little fatigued of this. From what I'm seeing online, a lot of his followers, a lot of the people that voted for him are eating this up. They're claiming victory. Panama caved. Colombia caved. Canada caved. Everyone's caving to him. So is it an effective strategy thus far? Maybe the short term, maybe he's getting some short term victories. Will this be sustainable? I don't know. I have no idea. And what you got to worry about here too is Elon Musk, Department of Government Efficiency, going into computers and taking sensitive information from computers and people in these agencies are fighting him and his people, and they're getting locked out. So listen, this is what happens when you and why is first of all who elected him to anything? Why is Elon Musk allowed to be near any of this? That's a problem right there. And if there's one thing, maybe the Democrats. Not that I'm advising Democrats, but if there's one thing that some Republicans, from what I'm reading, Republicans are not a big fan of Elon Musk either. That they might be able to unite behind or get some kind of opposition going. It's the fact that Elon Musk has basically given himself or granted himself access to files in the federal government, giving over Social Security and all sorts of information that a private citizen shouldn't have. He wasn't elected to anything, and as far as I know, I don't think he had a background clearance done. So the illegal immigrant that he is from South Africa is going to self-deport with all our information. All right. Crazy week. Listen, there was a lot of stuff going on with the tariffs. I posted on the Facebook page documenting 47 what happens when tariffs are actually implemented. I had to go back to my Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I had to go back to the McKinley Act of 1890. Folks, this is not me. This is not me saying something that's like, well, this is what's going to happen. No, this already happened. In both cases, when they implemented tariffs in 1930, all right, with the Hawley-Smoot Tariff Act, and in 1890, both cases in the following election cycle, the party in power lost big, plain and simple. Now, in 1890, McKinley did go on to win the presidency after that, okay? But in the election following, the Republicans lost big time, okay? So just be aware if you actually implement, there are consequences to this. It may not be. See, we live in this media and this time of like instant gratification. And, I see people on Facebook go, you regret your vote now, 2 weeks later. Jesus Christ, it's only been 2 fucking weeks. What the fuck? I feel like it's been 8 months, but it's only been 2 weeks. And it takes time. There's a lag effect with these policies. All right. There's a lag effect. Unfortunately, the American public is not, most of the people are not in tune to what's going on, and they won't know it until it affects them personally, which might be down the road a little bit. Unless it's right in your face like egg prices. All right. Which, by the way, what's been done about that? I don't know. By the way, gas prices have gone up a little bit over the last week, too. I post my usual Sunday gas post when I, gasoline post, that is, when I fill up my car for the week. So anyway, listen, there's going to be a lot of news stories coming out in the next week. There's going to be a lot of issues. Education now. Listen, now we're starting to see the education front here. I saw the press secretary for Trump. Yeah, snazzy little thing that she is, isn't she? Oh boy, I kid. Oh boy. Yeah, so she's saying the report card is in and America's schools are failing. Well, you know what? Let's look at individual state report cards, why don't we? Why don't we look at Florida? All right. Florida's test scores have been released and they're down since COVID. A state that didn't even shut down during COVID, I might remind you. So let's look at individual states. Let's stack up those states in the Northeast versus the states in the South. Let's look at Arkansas's report card on reading and writing. Oh, wait, I'm going to go down to these places and I'm going to go investigate some of these places during the summer, either this summer or next summer. I haven't decided yet where I'm going to go, but I'm going to be on the ground doing some live feeds again here. And this is something I want to see. Let's compare. Let's compare some of these places that we talk about in the deep red South. Let's see what we're dealing with here economically. Let's see what the traffic in Dallas looks like versus the traffic in New York now with congestion pricing. It's actually better. Maybe it works. I don't like paying for it, but maybe it works a little bit. All right. So anyway, we are going to see a lot of stuff come out this week. RFK Jr., we'll see what happens with him. By the way, if you're going to run Health and Human Services, you think you could get somebody in there who actually sounds healthy. Could you get a sicklier sounding guy than RFK? I know the guy can like do a push-up. Wow, okay. And he's tan. But can you get a guy who at least sounds healthy? Do you really want that guy representing the Health and Human Services? Guy who can't even, a guy who crackles his voice when he speaks and he sounds like he's, about to keel over. Just the sound, the image of it's not the sound of a healthy guy. Please. Now, does he make some good points on some things? Sure. But even a broken clock is right twice a day. I didn't realize this, but I learn, and most of what he says is out there with the vaccines. But then, he brings up something about like the seed oils in the foods at McDonald's, and they never use the seed oils, and they used to use a different oil. And of course, they do it because I guess profits or whatever. But there was a different oil used in McDonald's burgers and cooking and fries and whatever they used in the 60s and 70s. And obesity wasn't a problem back then, or it wasn't as big of a problem. So maybe he does make, he makes these points that sometimes make a little bit of sense. But then he goes off and veers off into like, some landscape of craziness with his tin hat or whatever. So anyway, flooding the zone. That's the name of the game. That's what's happening. Just know what's happening. Be aware of it. and don't knee jerk react. Let it play out. Hold the fire. Wait and see what happens. I know it's for some people, Democrats and some independents who didn't vote for Trump, this is very difficult. Let it play out here. He has his 100 days. All right. He had 4 years to prepare for this. He had 4 years to prepare for this. And some would say the same people who planned January 6th are the ones planning this takeover of the government now with him in power, the Trump regime. This is a continuation of January 6th if they had gotten their way, by the way. This is exactly what they wanted to do. Remember, before the election in 2024, late 2024, people were saying this is the second revolution that's happening. This is what they wanted. All right, let them get their 100 days in, see what happens, watch for the chaos, watch the flooding of the zone, and see what happens. Okay, just be aware of it. There will be a time that some of these policies, and I think I don't even think Trump has a plan. I said that he floods the zone on purpose and it's a negotiating tactic. I firmly believe that. But I don't think he knows where they go. I think we're seeing this like kind of in real time. Like when he stopped the funding for some programs and then the day later they were back. He's testing the buttons out here. He's seeing what he can get away with. Same thing with the tariffs. I don't think he had an end game in sight here or some kind of, coherent strategy. I just think Mexico probably, threw something on the table. 10,000 troops. Why not 20? Why not 5? 10. Sounds like a good number. And then it shuts him up and he retreats. So is that the best negotiating strategy? Is that the art of the deal? I don't know. It's like how I operated in 8th grade, for God's sakes, trying to get a girl to go out with me. Hey, you want to go to McDonald's? Oh, okay. You like Burger King? We'll go to Burger King instead. I still win. Get to go out with her. Pizza Hut. That was a good date spot back in the day. Salad bar. Good spot. Pizza Hut, Route 17 South, Paramus, New Jersey. No longer there. It's now a Shake Shack. But anyway, that's like a negotiating strategy. We're seeing it in real time here. We're seeing it play out, and it's like theater. It's like his reality show that he had, The Apprentice, but now it's the White House, and we're just watching the negotiations. The only scary thing is it's with our democracy, and it's with our money and our pride and our values and our ethics and everything else. All right. But yeah, that's what's happening. I think we're in a reality show here, flooding the zone, negotiating tool, creating victory at the end of the day. And I guarantee you, he's going to do that with Greenland. We already saw it in Panama. I guess Panama kicked the Chinese out. Hey, listen, maybe there's something to the strategy. I don't know. What do I know? I don't know. Worked with Colombia, I guess. They, backed down. Whatever. I don't think everyone's going to back down, though. All right. Anyway, it's coming up on, it's almost 6 o'clock here on Monday night. So, Documenting 47, I had to replace yesterday's video because I messed up the audio. So, this is the second one we're doing this week. But I'll be back with more on Documenting 47 later in the week. And I haven't gone live in a while. I had a little head cold over the weekend. I'll be back going live, hopefully, in the Albany area this coming week, maybe deeper into the Mohawk Valley, deeper into red New York State, maybe into Elise Stefanik's district that they have to do a special election for now. How about that? See what the constituents look like up in her neck of the woods. Do I want to even know? All right. We'll catch you later on Documenting 47. Make a comment below. Stay safe. Gonna snow. See ya.